In this video, we will discuss PubMed search strategies and how to identify unique research articles from two different searchers. In our previous research meeting, we identified search strategy 4, looking at randomized controlled trials alone as a good way to go forward in our study. And here we have listed the search words that we will be using. These are the field types that we have entered for a PubMed search. So our search strategy 4 for our study came up to be this particular search sequence. So if we enter this into PubMed, we will see that we have about 140 results that will be pulled up. So 140 results. Now, since this study, all the search fields are text, all text, this does not exclude anything. So therefore, even if we do not define the field types and just have our results within the quotation marks with the certain parameters properly placed, we should get the same results or the same number of results, same results that we obtain, even by defining the search field as all text. And as we can see, we can obtain 140 results this way as well. Therefore, going forward, rather than defining the field type, we will not define them and use this strategy for our studies. However, once we remove these parentheses and try to do the same search, we will see that we will not get the specific results that we desire, that we would like to see. We are getting over 400 results. The reason for this is now, in the absence of these parentheses, PubMed will not recognize these combining parameters separate from the rest of the text, and they will look for any of this text that's available, and we will not be able to get the specificity that we can get once the search fields are defined in this manner. So therefore, this search strategy will not work for us. Another thing to consider is, what if we looked at randomized control trials as a publication type? So now this is going to make our search even more specific, and we may not obtain all search results that we desire if PubMed has not curated them properly. As we can see, we are only getting 61 results, and we will be left wondering, what about the other 80 or so results that we are not getting from this? So we will not be using this search strategy either. One of the points that we discussed, something that came up even during our research meeting discussion, was, what if we are missing some with the search term clinical trials? So this is the exercise that I would like to describe for students, even as a practice, and also for us to get to know how many studies we are really missing out, or if we are actually missing anything that's relevant. That is what I will describe in this video. So if we do a search for this alone, we see that clinical trials publication type, there is about 100 articles that are curated for our search. So that's something that we will consider in doing our searches. So for this particular exercise, I will go through an example looking at 3 different searches. The 3 different searches we have here will be is our search for the randomized controlled trials, and also for clinical trials without defining a search field, and then the combined study looking at clinical trials and the randomized controlled trials. As a student assignment, students will get the same search terms. The main difference is that the clinical trials are now defined as a publication type. So it will be more specific, more narrow. So students will be able to see how these are related, what are the duplicate studies that are pulled up, and how can we identify all the unique studies. So I will go through this example, and I would like for students to make use of these instructions that are given here and do the same search study for the three searches given here. So in our case, we've already identified that this particular search identified 140 studies, but we'll go ahead and do the same search again. Looking at randomized control trials, we get 140 results. Now let's go ahead and save our results as well. So we'll save all our results as CSV files, because CSV files can be opened as Excel files. I'll call this randomized. Let's go ahead and open that. And as we showed during our research meeting, all the results will be pulled up into Excel as different tabs or as different columns. So we will be able to search them individually. Now let's go ahead and do our second search. For the term clinical trials, and we have 408 results. Let's go ahead and save all these results, and we'll call this clinical. Next, we'll go and do our third result. So this is where we have both searches together. And we get 481 results as indicated here. Let's go ahead and open the clinical one as well. And now we'll save all results for the both search terms together. And we'll call this file both. And let's go ahead and open that as well. So now we have the three files that we saved for this particular search. What we're going to do is we are going to open a new Excel file, and we will save this as maybe in the same search folder as an Excel file, and we'll call this combined, where we will bring all our results together. And now that we have this, we will go for each of these CSV files that we are opening and move these tabs into our file. So we'll bring it into the combined Excel sheet as a copy. So we brought the first one in. Let's go ahead and bring the second one in, move, create a copy into the combined. And then even the last tab that we have here, we'll create a copy into the combined folder. Right. Now that we have all three of these tabs, randomized, clinical, and both, we will use a new tab to try to combine the first two results and see if we can replicate all the unique results that we identified by using both terms together. In other words, 481 results. The additional result was for this title tab here. So we'll call this all results. So, and let me go ahead and close the other files. And we can actually call this combined. Right. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the randomized trials here, and we will highlight all these PubMed IDs we have. So we will highlight them in yellow. So we know these came from this particular search result. We'll go to the clinical one and highlight all the PubMed IDs in a different color. Let's choose blue here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take all the randomized trials, select all the fields, copy, and we'll paste it here. Now that we have all the results from the first study, 140 results, we will go to a second one. We will not take the title for this since the title fields are the same. We will go ahead and copy all 408 results and paste them right here. So all the fields should be in the appropriate columns, and we can even go up and just increase the title to see it a little bit better. Maybe make it about a 30. And even the date will make it a little bit larger so we see the dates as well. Now what we are going to do is we have our search results that we got from the randomized search in yellow, the one we got from the clinical trial search in blue. So total we have about 549. There are certain duplicate studies here. What we're going to do next is we are going to highlight all the results we have here, all 548 results, and we will go ahead and sort them. I usually like this custom sort where I will be able to define, yes, I have a header, so I have my title there. And of these titles, I want them to be organized according to the PubMed ID, smallest to the largest. So once we go ahead and do that, what we'll see is it will pull up our different searches that were highlighted in blue and yellow and show that there are certain studies that are duplicates in these two searches, as we can see right here as well. Now, one thing to point out in our study, we are only going to look at COVID-19 results. So anything that's beyond 2019 December. So as you can see, we have obtained some of these results that are previous or prior to our studies. So we will be able to eliminate all of these even without looking at these articles. So for now, what we want to do is identify all the unique articles. So now that we have identified all the duplicates, we can go ahead and look at them individually and see what they look like. Now, how do we get rid of these duplicates just to give the unique values? So to do that, we will go ahead and highlight all our search results again. So all 548 results with the title becomes 549. We will go to our data tab right here, and there is a function that says remove duplicates. When you click on that, here you have an option to see to tell Excel what of these fields you would really like to use to see if there are duplicates. In this case, in this search was from PubMed. All these search fields, all these tabs are going to be the same in our duplicates. So it will be okay for us to use all these to look for duplicates. But even if not, if we are using this from different sources, we can still do this search by only selecting the PubMed ID, and I will show it both ways so that students can see that. So we'll use all of this and we will say okay. And they are showing that there were 67 duplicates, and once they were removed, we now have 481 unique values. And if we take that, if we go back to, we can go back, verify that we have a 481 results. And even if we go back to our third result that we did both together, we see that we have 481 results. So we get the same amount of unique studies even by doing two separate searches and removing the duplicates. So this is the exercise I would like for students to do, just to make sure to show how this duplicate removal occurs. We will go back, have all our results again, the 548 results. And now we are going to do removing the duplicates, but just by the PubMed ID, meaning if there are duplicate PubMed IDs, they will remove all these fields. So if you do this search, you get the same results, which is a 67 duplicate values and 481 unique values. So this is how we will be able to do multiple searches on PubMed, put them together on Excel, and identify unique searches.